I am here with Grant Owens, Chief Strategy Officer at Critical Mass. Grant, thanks for being here with us. Appreciate
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So I'm excited to talk all about advertising in the current era. What a moment it is for this practice that is decades old now. Talk to me about how AI is changing advertising at a high level, and then we'll go into some of the specific ways in which you're using it.
Sure. I mean, it's changing society on the whole. So how's it not changing advertising, right? It's changing culture, and advertising is based on culture. So it's having profound impacts. But I see it as an opportunity for sort of creative explosion. I've said to my team a lot that AI doesn't have sort of a narrow field of view. It's got a very wide field of view. It's got no recency bias. It can go back into history, into depth, and can give you more places and spaces to start. So for us, it's been a really sort of profound moment to recognize new opportunities that we couldn't have recognized before.
How are you guys using it at Critical Mass?
In all kinds of ways, in tactical ways and strategic ways and production ways, as you might imagine. We're doing campaigns at scale that we haven't been able to do before off the back of AI driven technology. We're using it as a strategist. We're using it for insight gathering. We're using it to get to ideas faster. We're using it to expand our sort of canvas on which we can paint. So we're using it throughout the organization. It really does feel like it's starting to get embedded into the way we do things.
And so tell me, I just want to get into the meat of the matter here, because advertising it's such a dynamic space. People say that AI is coming for advertising. People say, well, it might be able to do the agency's job in some respects. What do you say to that?
I think it'll show up in many shapes and forms in the next, 4 or 5, 10 years even. I think there is a place and space always for the sort of creativity that comes from our team. We value creative at the highest level, and I think we're going to continue to do that and use AI in the proper ways. I think you've heard a lot of people say that AI is a sidekick or a collaborator. And that's well and good, and I think we'll do some of that. But the real power from AI, I think, will come when you really embed it in the way your processes. That's not about taking the human's role out of it. It's just making sure that it's integral to the way that you work. It's not just an efficiency play. It's unlocking new opportunities. Is it coming for advertising? Absolutely, but in good ways too.
And what about your clients? How are they thinking about advertising it more from the efficiency perspective that, I used to rely on advertising as a way to reach my customers. Now I've got these chatbots that are changing the game of advertising altogether. We've written a lot about this at The Information, people seeing their search traffic having declined. And one of the stories that we wrote actually is that while search traffic has declined, revenue hasn't yet declined, but some of these companies are worried because they're not sure how they're going to get new business. How are your clients thinking about that?
It's a great point, and it's changing. We just saw OpenAI signing a deal with Shopify, and so the customer journey is changing extremely quickly. What we're trying to do in our team is really study those behaviors, understand where people are heading to make sure we keep our clients in front of those journeys in the right places. We talk a lot about discoverability, making sure that our clients' brands are able to be discovered, and the techniques that we use to do that, to get those stories in place at the right moments, obviously they're changing as fast as I've ever seen them in my 25 years of advertising.
And so on discoverability, what is the advice that you're giving clients?
Put content in different places that maybe you wouldn't have before. Invest in different places. We see not only are people doing commerce engagement in Pinterest and Reddit in other spaces, but also the AI engines are obviously training on those spaces. So we're encouraging clients to be in the right spaces, put the right content in place. It's challenging their ability to publish in all those different spots and touch points. But again, with the technology we have at our disposal and how we've made that integral to our workflow, we're able to produce content at a faster rate as well.
Right. I also want to talk to you about some of the economics of AI here, because it's expensive, right? And anybody that uses it knows that it's not cheap right now. With the tools that you're using right now at Critical Mass and at Omnicom, can you talk a little bit about the ROI that you've seen for your own business in using these tools from Adobe or any other company, really, for that matter?
Sure. I mean, a lot of the work that you don't see out front, but we're doing in the background, is putting the tools again in our main process, the way that we work. So we've used tools from Adobe, we've used some point solutions, but the job for us to get the most ROI and why partners like Adobe are so valuable to us is that it's really tailoring that workflow to the way that we work, not just a point solution at it for any one tactic we need to do. So we're doing a lot of work getting that integrated into the way that we work, making sure that it's, it's able to be sort of human-aided, but it's something that's really producing efficiency and producing content in a way that maybe we couldn't have before.
And before I let you go, I do want to talk to you about this sort of new golden age of advertising that people are sort of waiting for with chatbots. I mean, we've had startups on our show, startups that say that, hey, we can help your company, your brand show up better in chatbot results. And that obviously puts aside the whole sponsored results offering that some of these chatbot companies are playing with. What do you think of that industry, and is that an opportunity that you see coming around that say, yeah, I mean, we're going to help people show up better in chatbot listings?
Maybe. I don't know if I've ever had an experience with a chatbot that I would call the golden age of advertising. I do think there's value there, but what we value more than anything is that emotional connection to a brand. And if that can come from a chatbot, okay, so be it. But storytelling is key to what we do. And it will always be key. And a lot of times that's not going to happen in a chatbot. For us, it's going to happen in a lot of different touch points. And that's what our creative teams are so, adept at doing, is creating those story moments for our clients' brands to really get their story out there.
What about helping companies show up better in, optimize their websites or, read the algorithms better? I mean, I don't know how you do it, but sure. I know that there are companies that say, look, if you put this copy on your website or you put out a video in this way, OpenAI might catch it better, something like
100%. I mean, we were just seeing, Adobe just announced their own large language model optimizer to do just that. And so there are a lot of techniques and tools you could put in place to make sure you get that content properly adjusted to be found. And again, it's about discoverability. Mm-hmm. Once you are discovered, though, we feel that beyond that, there's a lot of storytelling that can happen. It doesn't need to be in a linear chatbot interface. It could be done in dozens of ways. So. But yeah, discoverability is huge in our industry, and we're trying to make sure our clients are ahead of that. And again, they're producing the right type of content.
How big a revenue stream do you think advertising is for a company like OpenAI 5 years from now?
Oh, I mean, look at the deal they signed with Shopify. Imagine the amount of transactions that could happen in a space like that. But we're still seeing the nascent nature of the technology where it's guiding people down the wrong path, and there's some fumbles that'll happen on that transactional side. But if advertisers find that those transactions match with the journey that consumers want to have, there's plenty of revenue to be had in those spaces. I have no question about that.
Great. Well, Grant, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate the time.
Thanks a lot, Akash.